Hello everyone, welcome back to Chemical Engineering and Aspen channel. In our today's video, we will use the UNIFAC estimation and the data evaluation part using Aspen Plus. The UNIFAC estimation is very much important once we talk about the missing binary interaction parameters. And the data evaluation is also an important part to evaluate how accurate or how good a data is. So we will use the data evaluation using the NIST, and I will brief about it in a few moments. So before starting the video, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe to the channel. Click on the bell icon to get all updates related to this channel. So we have been given a system in which the components are acetone, methyl ethyl ketone, 1-hexene, and the given property package is NRTL. So we will first go to Aspen Plus and we will see how we can do it. And we have to use the binary analysis once we go to the Aspen Plus, in which the binary mixture is MEK, which is methyl ethyl ketone, and 1-hexene. The mole fraction is from 0 to 1 with 51 intervals. The phase is vapor liquid and the temperature is 25 degrees centigrade. So let's go to Aspen Plus and simulate it. So we will first add the component acetone MEK 1-hexene, and then we will select the property package as NRTL. Then we will click on the next. Now you can see that the binary interaction parameters are not complete. The acetone MEK and acetone 1-hexene interaction parameters are given, but MEK 1-hexene parameters are not given. So how we can get it? We will click on this estimate using UNIFAC, and then we will click on run. And now you can see once results are available that these interaction parameters are now available. But the source for these parameters is R-PCES. So first we need to see what is this R-PCES. The R-PCES, which means utilizing property constant estimation regression. This provides the Bondi method for estimating the R and Q parameters for UNIFAC functional groups. The Aspen Plus physical property system use these parameters in the UNIFAC, Dortmund, UNIFAC, and linked by UNIFAC model. And the Bondi method required only the molecular structure as an input. So this is one of the source, which is PCES, which is property constant estimation, that also provides the information of the missing binary interaction parameters. Now we will go on the analysis. In binary analysis, we will select first is the PXY. The system is MEK 1-hexene. Mole fraction of 1-hexene to be varied from 0 to 1 with 51 intervals. Temperature is 25 degrees centigrade. The calculation options, we will select it as vapor liquid, and then we will click on the run analysis to get our required result or required trend of PXY diagram, which shows that this is the point where the azure drop formation takes place. If we did not have, or if we do not have the binary interaction parameters, the trend would have been very much different. You can simply delete that interaction parameters to see the trend between MEK and 1-hexene. Now this is our first part of the video where we have used the UNIFAC estimation to prepare the binary analysis. The part 2, which is the data evaluation. So we will either prepare the new simulation file or we will remove the RPCES from the existing tab. Then we will click on the NIST, which is National Institute of Standards and Technology, where the different experimental data are present. We will click on the consistency test and we will carry out the test. The value of this test is 0.451. The value lies between 0 to 1, with 0 as bad and 1 as good. This is the outcome which we will now check in Aspen Plus. We will again add the components acetone MEK 1-hexene, and then we will again select the NRTL, but we will now not specify, or we will not add the missing binary interaction parameters. This is the NIST which I was talking about, that access experimental data using NIST thermodata engine, and perform property evaluation. So we will click on this NIST. We will select binary mixture, MEK 1-hexene, and we will retrieve the data using the NIST. And it is the first full software implementation of the dynamic data evaluation concept developed at Thermodynamics. Now you can see that there are 13 points which are provided to us, which you can see obviously from here, that the liquid mole fraction of MEK, corresponding temperature, the vapor mole fraction, and the pressure. And the source for which is Hansen chemical engineering data alteration of the relative volatility of N-hexane, 1-hexane by oxygenated and chlorinated solvents. So this is the link of that. Going to the consistency test. Currently, overall data quality is not available, so we will click on the test, we will run it, and the answer is 0.451. The closer the value to 1, the more reliable or more accurate is the result or is the data. Now we will go back to this experimental data and we will save it. From here, save data. We will click on this OK, and it is now available here in data. Now we will click on this regression part to evaluate the data. How we can do it? Click on this new, create the ID, then select the data here. We will do the regression part in our next video, but today our part is to evaluate it. And there are two options: consistency. Currently, we will not test binary merely data, but obviously we want to reject the data that is not thermodynamically consistent. And there are two methods: area test and point test. And today we will be using the area test. This is just an overview of it. We will discuss these in detail in our next video. We will be doing the regression part. So click on this run button, and once the results are available, we will go to the results here, and in evaluation part you can see the residual root mean square error is 195.161. For VLE system, as this is the VLE system, this value should not be greater than 10, and for liquid system the value should not be more than 100. So this shows that this data is not reliable, or this data is not comparatively accurate. If we look at the estimated versus experimental trend, and we will select the data, you can see that this is the straight line and the data is scattered over here, and there is a lot of difference or a lot of standard deviation in this data. So we just cannot use that data directly. Obviously we need to perform some regression part over here, but how we can do it, obviously you have to wait for the next video on it. So I hope you have understood all the aspects of this lecture. If you have any queries, feedback, suggestion, please provide it in the comment box and I would be happy to answer it. That's it from today's lecture. Thank you so much. Please do watch, like, share the video and subscribe to the channel. Also click on the bell icon to get all updates related to this channel. Till then, it's goodbye. Stay tuned for more exciting videos on this channel.